So welcome everybody. So good to have you all here. It's really great. It's 1 second. Let me let Jenny in. It's a very simple message we share here. Couldn't be simpler. All is this. So everything is it. So nothing's excluded from this. So if you're feeling pain, that's this. If you're excited and you're happy, that's this. It's not you. There's no you in that body. And if it feels like there's a you in that body, that's this, feeling like a you in that body. Having a thought that says, not quite sure what he means. That's this. So it's not all is this plus me. And if it feels like there's a me there, then that's just this. But it's not you. It's not a separate individual that has its own existence. And that's the suffering. When I feel separate from life, because it's not true. Nothing's separate. The one who's trying to seek, the one who's looking for freedom is already this. That's the like, well, if that's me, Michael, then why would I seek? There's no answer for that. There's no answer for why seeking seems to appear. And seeking is all about answers. You could say everything doesn't need an answer. Because it's everything. It's the confusion, it's the doubt, it's the diarrhea at 2 in the morning. It's the sun, it's the sky, it's everything, literally. It's my voice right now. So there's no Michael here. There's no entity here speaking. There's no separate entity there listening. It's not a separate entity. It's wholeness, talking to wholeness. wearing like little, it's like a masquerade ball, everybody comes in disguise, It's just that we forget our true nature, which is timeless. And somehow we fall in love with time. And now we got a problem because we feel like we're stuck in time and we want to get out. But the message here is you've never, what you are is timeless. So just as this moment, just as whatever is exactly happening for you, this is it. This is all that is. But there's already no you there to do anything about anything. That's what's imagined, is that there's a me in here that can take action and don't you just want to rest? I mean, that's all I ever wanted. I can't tell you how many times I had the thought, life cannot be this fucking hard. I just intuitively, I'm like, I feel like I'm driving with one foot on the gas and one on the brake. It's just not working. So if anything, this message really is not a getting. You don't get, it's not a getting. It's, in a way, it's, you can all, this is just a story, words, but in a way it's the opposite. It's a letting go. It's a, this is an open meeting. Everyone's invited to participate. So if you have a comment or question, feel free to unmute and jump in.
Just wanted to add, when you said it's a letting go, the two things that jumped out at me was the word allowing, and another one was revealing. It's more of an allowing or revealing. I mean, in addition to what you were saying, it's just another way of using words to describe it, but I feel like that's helped me a lot. It's just this allowing what's already there to be.
Yeah, well, it's funny, Alan, because I thought of you because I was thinking about your favorite Tao Te Ching, and the Tao that can be named is not the true Tao. So that's why whatever we speak about isn't it.
Yeah, from one angle, this message is completely useless. I mean, truly, it's useless. And in terms of allowing, the me hears that and it thinks it needs to allow. And really the allowing, if in fact it does take place, isn't happening on the part of the me. Nothing's controlling it. It's happening for no reason to no one. But the mind can't really, that's not really the mind's, the imaginary me's purview, that way, that way of life.
Allowing is too much effort.
Yeah, already no one to allow, no one to allow or not allow already. And it's so beautiful, right? No one to allow or not allow. It doesn't give you anything to hang on to.
And that has such a beauty to it. Like, it's funny when this me hears the word useless, it feels like that's bad. It has a scrambly feeling, like, what about purpose? What about something needing to happen? What about the doer? And yet actually uselessness is really a mystery.
Mhm.
And of course it's not good or bad. Like,
Mhm.
but to the me, I mean, it's the unknowing, which, going back to what you said about, don't you want to rest? It's so beautiful, Michael, like, rest in the unknowing.
Yeah, I find that just so beautiful, and at least the me that's on this video right now. Um, I do real estate on the side, and the whole business is about trying to achieve and trying to accumulate and trying to persuade and trying to put on your snazziest pair of pants and all that stuff. So it's definitely an interesting balance, just seeing like this game, I guess this game going on of all these different characters trying to personify, all these different imaginary archetypes. And yeah, just kind of observe it and witness it and see how the ego kind of can get all, swept up in the different narratives. And but they're just kind of like waves, waves on the ocean. Honestly, my life has been, my personal life has been just going through so many different different it's like a pendulum swinging, just so many different frequencies and variations. It just shows the unpredictability and the beautiful spontaneity of all that is.
Yeah, yeah, you said it. Complete spontaneity.
Yeah, I find it very challenging, a challenging thought to think that life has no purpose, or that my life has no purpose. Because I've been thinking and looking for the purpose of my life since I was knee high to a grasshopper. Like, why am I here? And you have to come up with an answer,
Yeah,
What purpose? I'm here to do good to others, or I'm here to achieve some blah, blah. And then when this message comes along and says, there's no purpose to life, oh my God, where do I go with that?
Yeah, well, if the no purpose doesn't work for you, Faith, you can always try, there's neither purpose nor no purpose.
Oh, okay. So you talk a bit more about that, Michael. I'm okay with the no purpose. Sorry, I've got a noisy thing outside. I hope it doesn't distract you. Yeah, I'm sort of adjusting to the no purpose, the purposelessness, because that takes the pressure off too. You know, I can rest if I haven't got a purpose. I can rest, but do you want to explain a bit more about?
Yeah. So you don't have a purpose, and you also don't not have a purpose. It doesn't give you anywhere to land, Faith. If you have neither purpose nor no purpose,
Yeah,
you can't do
Yeah.
any. Yeah, you just can't do anything with that.
yeah. Well, that's a good thing for me to think about with a whole range of topics. You know, there's not this nor that. Like, doesn't have to be purposelessness. It can be some other thing. Yeah, because that brings you to a full stop, nowhere to go, resting place, I guess.
Having no purpose seems very soothing for me. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I agree. Probably a bit of a female thing that put upon. No, it's for males as well. Rico's talking about it too, yeah. Well, sometimes I think there's a flavour about how society treats women and men, and yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes this message so startling, because it's not saying that you got to get rid of your me. That's not the message.
Mm.
The message is there never was a me there.
Mm. Well, if you're going to say you've got to get rid of the me, that's putting a purpose to your life, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
And that can be what's going on. You know, if you're compelled to try and get rid of your me, then that's just what's happening. And you're gonna, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
So, Michael, when you say that there is no me here, what I hear is that there is no one who can do anything out of their own will and volition or anything. But what about this feeling of being here? This feeling of looking through these eyes. is this an illusion too? And if it is, it's just gonna play out for as long as it plays out. So I hear that there is no me. And whatever happens, it doesn't happen because me does anything. It just happens. But there's still a feeling of perceiving from through this body.
Yes. Yeah, it does feel that way in time.
Mm.
The appearance in time. But you could say what you are is the timeless, the timeless. And so we come to a very interesting question. At least I think it's interesting. If there's only the timeless, then how does time seem to appear?
It's a concept by the human mind.
It doesn't appear.
Is it true that only humans think that there is time? My dog, she doesn't know if I've been away for 2 days or 2 minutes. She behaves the same. So she has no notion of time.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't think.
Right. Well, we give meaning to right? So for example, take the time 12:30, 12:30. Now, in and of itself, does 12:30 mean anything? Like, in and of itself, 12:30 has no meaning. It's only when I say, I'll meet you for lunch at 12:30, suddenly magically, it seems to have meaning. Seems to, appears to. But we keep coming back to this. There's only the timeless. There's only the infinite. There's only wholeness, eternal, whatever. It doesn't matter the word. But no word, no word is going to get it. So pick your favorite. Pick the one that makes you happiest. And it could change.
So time is like an organizational tool for living life on the planet.
Right, but I'm asking even a deeper question, right, Faith? Because I'm saying, how can there even be time?
Oh, okay. Well, is time a concept? Mm.
Not to the me, right? It's a concept if it's seen as a concept. But from the me's perspective, time is its lifeblood.
Yeah, true.
The me is time.
Morella, may I ask you about your question one more time about basically your question? Will you restate your question of that sense of location? Was that what?
Yeah. So what I was saying is that there is a sense of, I can't say that it's something because it's not an entity that I can grasp. It's not something, it's a feeling, more like a feeling of someone, but not an entity, not the body, but something looking through these eyes, and it's here. If this body moves, that sense feeling goes with it. So when you say that it's just a timeless, there's a clarity there that's not here, because you would say the body doesn't move because it needs time, but from here, perception happens in time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
without time, nothing can be perceived.
Well, the time and the timeless are not two.
So this sense of being located in the body, it's not real, is it?
Well, it's just exactly what it feels. It's a feeling of a me, let's say.
Yeah,
No problem.
yeah. It's just wholeness appearing as a me in this body.
Yeah. As a sense of, if it could be separate, like it's giving it its best try. Like it's very convincing. Like I really feel separate, but we're just investigating to see if, let's look together. Some of us are drawn to wanting to know our true nature. It's just, there's no reason for anything. There's no answers. So there's nothing given here, but we don't answer any questions here.
So is that just a thought then? The me.
No, it's more than I thought. I mean, it's a, like you were saying, it's that kind of embodied, felt sense of location, sort of a center to the world. So whatever's happening is happening to me. And then I have to react to it. I'll have a response. I'll try and get rid of it. So that's the exhausting part. That's the part. Hi, Nkosi, welcome.
Hi, Michael. Hello, everyone.
You got a beautiful baby, Rico.
Wow.
Hi.
Wow. That's awesome.
It's wonderful.
So when Marilla, it's funny because this, I'm not sure if there's even language for it, but this, there's no sense with this that I'm a this. I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's not there's not a reference point. I don't know how to language that though. I don't know how to language that. And Nkosi, maybe you know how to language that. Morella, will you ask your question one more time?
Yes, hi, Nkosi. I'm Mirella. It's my first time to this meeting, so I'm very pleased to meet you and Michael as well. Michael was talking about timelessness and how the me is just wholeness appearing as a me. And I was just sharing that here there is a sense of experiencing the world through this body, through this eyes. There is a center, if the body moves, there's a feeling that I move with it. And there's a longing to have the clarity that's expressed in these meetings. And that's extra suffering on top of everything else, because on top of all the work that I have to do, now I have to get rid of the me. So I was just hoping that you can tell me how I know that there is no one here to do anything. So, but can you comment on that feeling, and without saying that it's wholeness, because I don't want it.
Well, this what is already wordless, but what seems to be words may appear in it, or what seems to be things may seem to appear in it, but itself as it is, it needs no words to be what it is. Anything may appear, anything may arise, you know. A thought may arise that says, oh, I want to get it, if I could get it. A sense of not getting it may arise. Anything may arise in it, but itself as it is just the way it is. You know, it has no limitations. It's already formless and empty of anything, of any content. But anything may arise in it. Questions, argument, hopelessness, wondering. You know, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. And in this, there's no suppression, you know, because anything that seems to arise in it is just its expressions. It expresses itself as what seems to be things, but it is nothing. It is nothing. It can never really be pointed to, because even what seems to be pointing to it is already it. Okay. So there's no distance in it. There's nowhere to get to. There's nobody who's looking for it. There's nobody who's looking for this, because all there is this. Even what seems to be you asking a question is already everything asking a question. There's no real separate you who can actually ask a question and get an answer. So it can only be an appearance, which is already it, appearing in it, appearing to ask a question. It may happen to dream itself as an individual who's a woman who's looking for clarity. There's no real you, separate you who's looking for clarity already. It's just this appearing as that. So whether you receive an answer or not.
I did, I actually did, thank you. I don't take any responsibility for whatever is going here anymore, because it's not me doing it. It's not me wanting things to be different. It's just It's just what's appearing. Actually, there is a sort of relaxation from these words. So thank you. Yeah,
You're
it was
welcome.
beautiful.
Yeah, you're not responsible for your words. Because there's no
That's a relief.
there's
When,
nobody.
when you
for you.
say, I just go back to, this appearing as that, which seems to be the answer to most things. And although that resonates with me, it's, that's, where do we get that from? That either came from somebody's mind. It's like an assumption that this appearing as that. And, but I'm always looking for how can one say that that's true? I mean, there's no basis for it. It's a nice thing. I resonate with it, but there's no basis for it except to say it and keep saying it, and play with it, inquire about it, like we're doing, like on this meeting. But it starts with this basis that this appearing as that. And I have a hard time with that. It's like, the basis I always say, like, Jesus is the Son of God. There's your basis. Everything you talk about now, if you're going to try to argue against that, well, sorry, Jesus is the Son of God. We're just going to start there. And from there, that's it. There's no more to be said. That's like this appearing as that. And so I'm looking for what makes it true?
Firstly, there's no we to know this. There's no we. Then there's nobody already who's asking a question. It's just what is. It's just what is appearing as that as somebody who's looking for clarity. So this is nothing. This is nothing as it is. It's words themselves can never really describe this. We may use them as well as concepts to describe this, which can never really be described. It's wordless as it is. And any question that seems to arise in it, it's just this, what is appearing as a question. There can never really be a description for it, a perfect description, because words are limited. Even though as well they are seen as just appearances in this. So this is nothing. This is not. Nothing. It can never really. And this right here doesn't know anything, doesn't claim to have a certain knowledge,
You're talking about this that once again, okay, but you refer to it as if it's true. This that is nothing. The way I hear it is that you refer to that, okay, that's the way it is. There is this that is nothing, and everything appears in that. But mean, somebody could say any philosophy, anything about anything and start there. And I'm just trying to get to how,
If so, if I may ask, who's trying to get to anyway? Who wants to know right now? Let's look for that one.
okay. I want to know.
You as what? Exactly.
Me as a
Don't think about it. Just look.
living, breathing, me as,
Don't go back to the past.
don't go back where?
Don't go back to the past. The past is already not there.
Me as a sense of being me right now. Whatever is speaking right now.
What is me exactly?
Me is this here, this expression, this feeling. Not really the body at the moment. I'd say it's a little, I would say deeper than the body, or less physical than the body. A sense of me. I think it was like Mirla, if I got her right, I think she was referring to that. Like there's a sense here. There's a sense of me that wants to know. Does want to know.
Where is it?
Where?
Can it be located? Yes. Can it be seen?
Okay.
Where's the sense?
It can be felt.
By whom?
By well, I would say by me, but also it can be felt by itself. Now, it's speaking. Okay, so whatever that is speaking, that is not me in that sense. Whatever is speaking right now, something is speaking, and yeah.
There's nobody there. There is nobody there already. In the same way, these words, as they are spoken right now, there's nobody who's speaking them. There's just words appearing in this nothingness.
Well, okay, but that goes back to that thing again. That's not an answer, or an answer that this me wants to get. It's like there's no answer. There's no answer. That's not an answer. That just goes back to there's no me. I mean, you could say anything and say, well, that's where we're going to start.
If I may, Dawn, I had the same question and I actually struggled with that. I was just wondering, these people who speak, they appear in the same dream in which we appear. So what makes those words different from any other words? But what helped me was to make an analogy between the night dream and whatever happens now. When you wake up in the morning, you know for sure, you know 100% that dream was not real. That you see mountains in the dream, they weren't there. You were in the dream as a character, but you weren't there. But while you were in the dream, it felt so real to you. You could swear it happened while you were in the dream. And to me, I'm stuck in this dream. That's how I feel. And for as long as I feel that this is real, you can't really understand why is it not real, because it feels real. There's not the clarity of the person who woke up from the night dream. And there is the clarity that Nkosi talks about, but that's how I see things, and that helps me hear what they're saying. Otherwise, I have the same questions you do.
I also, it's curious, the dynamic of projecting onto a you and then projecting onto the you that it has the truth. Like, as far as I can tell, Nkosi isn't claiming he's a you or even a he or any of that, nor is there a claiming of the truth. So that's interesting.
Isn't there a claiming of something on this call? In general, isn't there a basic claim? This group got together tonight and with an agreement, pretty much, with most of the people, including me, of this is the way it is. This is the way it works. So the claim is being made here. I don't think it's bad or wrong. It's what we're doing.
Well, for here, Don, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I don't.
Really?
I show up and things look incredibly beautiful to me. And that's mostly how it goes. But I don't know why. I don't know. I have no reason for why it's happening.
You, not to be personal, but you came on this call, you dialed in like we all did, and I'm asking this because I'm trying to figure out from the non-duality teachers. I always ask, like, don't know how, and I'm just trying to figure out how I had to go through my keyboard to get on this meeting, knowing what I was coming into, that I wasn't going into a Buddhist meditation meeting or some other meeting. And so are you saying really that you don't know how you got on this call? Or I don't understand that terminology. I really don't. I've heard it.
Don, I think you nailed it on earlier when you said something's speaking right now. Right? I don't know what it is. Something's speaking right now. And in that, the idea is, as Maureen was just saying, I don't know how I got on the call. Like, the action happens, the words happen, but the responsibility that you're assigning to a me, I did this, I dialed, that is the thing we're pointing to as, no, it just happened. That there is no responsible party. Because if you take just your words, I was really struck by what you said, there's something speaking right now. What is that thing? I don't know. I have no idea. There's something speaking right now too. I don't know what's speaking. I don't know where these words are coming from. And I'll tell you what, there's plenty of times that I speak. And if there was like a me that had control, agency, I wouldn't say half the shit I say. Right? And I mean, have you ever done something and gone, why did I do that? That was so stupid. Like, if I really had agency, if there was a me and there was agency over the action, I wouldn't do it. And yet I do it, I say things, and I think things. Have you ever had that thing where you're like, I don't ever want to have that thought again. Please, God, don't let me have that thought again. I hate that thought. And then you can't stop thinking about it. Like, what is that? There's no me to control it. It's just a thought. And so just like there's speaking happening right now. I don't know if that made any sense at all, but I was really struck by what you said.
Well said, Joe.
I was just thinking how at the beginning of this meeting, Michael said, there's no answers here. Something like that you said, Michael. And it seems to me Don's asking a question and wanting to get an answer. Well, it's not the right group, Don. We don't get answers here.
And you're asking an unanswerable question. I think early on in this course, it was said that it's not answerable. It's in the realm of the unknown.
Well, yeah. And based on that, I can't find an answer, and that's fine, but that's still saying that it's in the unknown. It's still a parameter. It's still a parameter. It's unknown. So well, it's unknown. I'm not and I don't like that. Seems a little not well. It's not known. It's unknown. It's unknown. You can't prove it, but it's unknown. And it's like, it's not good enough.
Well, this sounds jargony, but in order to know, there would have to be a knower who knows it. And that's another question. Is there a knower that knows? And then how does he know? It's an endless game. That route doesn't bring it. And there is nothing to be brought to.
Okay. I mean, nothing to be brought to, just leaves out maybe the truth. It seems like there's a little limit. It cuts things off here.
I'm gonna quote Michael from a long time ago. How was it? Something like effortless and obvious.
Yeah.
Something like that. You know, it just is. And what also just is the struggle to let that be.
Hey, Don. I've come to conclude that the last place there is to find an answer is from a spiritual master. I don't doubt that they're spiritual masters, but you'll never get an answer from them. It's the last place in the world you'll find an answer. You'll find it much more likely just with the next thing you pick up off the table than you will from a spiritual master.
And Kosi, what would you say about the word truth?
I would say it's just a concept. No, this is beyond words. This is wordless. The truth is the same as other words. Consciousness, spaciousness, God, you know. Yeah, it's just a word. Here, it's seen as just a word, one of the words. Beautiful words. This is everything. This is words, may appear as words, may appear as a sense of not getting it, may appear as a sense of getting it, may appear as somebody who's on the journey to reach this, you know. It may dream itself as everything, you know, and everything is seen as just a play. It's a play. It's a movie of some sort. So anyone who seems to be asking a question is already this asking a question, is already what is, simply this asking a question. So that's one will never really get an answer, because that one does not exist already. It's just this appearing as that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, they could be simply noticing that there's just this, but no, there's nobody to notice. It can only be what is, or this wholeness, recognizing that it has never been an individual. It has never been separate. It has always been itself as everything. So here, everything is seen as just a play. It's more like a simulation, because there's nobody here. It's just this appearing as different different bodies having a meeting. So it doesn't really mind what's happening. It doesn't really mind, because everything is it. It sees no individual. It sees nobody here. It sees itself in a way as nothing. So there's nothing to get here. There's nothing to be done. There's no process. There's nowhere to get to. There's just this. What is? Which is waiting, looking for an answer, finding an answer, thinking happening, smiling happening. A feeling of not getting it happening.
Nkosi, do you mean that this shabby little life I'm living is what I'm supposed to actually be living?
There's nobody who's living life. It's just life. There's nobody to live life. It's just life. What seems to be a separate you is just an appearance in this. There's no real separate self.
Pretty sure I was going to be a movie star. No way, man.
Yeah, and anything may arise here. Anything may arise. There is no limitation. Anything may arise. You may become anything in life and move. And it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter.
I'd like to circle back briefly to Don. And I just want to make a statement of empathy that I know exactly, I feel like what you were referring to when Nkosi shares this. It seems clear here. And I don't have an argument, and yet I can see that voice that says, well, how do you know that's true, or something like that? And when I say that now, it seems like it's neither true nor not true. Other jargon, but it's the idea that there is truth and untruth is itself already heading down a mental path.
Any last comments or questions before we close out this evening?
I know it's late, but if I may ask a very quick question to either you, Michael, or Nkosi. So, what would you say is the difference between you there and me here?
Nothing.
Because there is no you and me.
Yes.
Thank you.
You answered your own question. Beautiful. Beautiful, everybody. Lovely meeting. Really enjoyed being with all of you, each and every one of you. And Nkosi, brother, thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Right.
Bye, everyone.
Everybody.